Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English Basics for Beginners. Today we are just looking at the sincerity of some people who want to do certain actions out of a so-called motive for doing good, but when you look deeper into it, they are only doing it for name and fame. And the example given here is, for example, some of the politicians. And we're not saying all the politicians. Whenever we speak of politicians or governments, whether in South Africa or anywhere in the world, we start with a starting point that we say, okay, 90% of them are good, 10% are not good, right? So let's start with that. A great number of the favors done in our day are based on seeking a reward to be received in this world. They want name and fame and prizes and trophies, right? For example, a businessman who undertakes to establish a house for the poor with so-called charitable purposes seemingly derives no material gain. Yet the truth is opposite, mainly because thereby this person promotes his or her name, appearing on the front pages of newspapers and TV news programs, which turns this charity into a form of showing off. And we find this a lot to do with Hollywood and Bollywood celebrities and so on. But meanwhile, his company saves money since the cost of this charitable work are deducted from the taxes. So normally the accountant will say, you know what, you're going to save money on tax, give some for charity and then you'll save some money. So then they pretend that they are sincere, but they are doing that mainly to save some money. Besides, charity work oftentimes engaged in for similar benefits is far removed from being pertinent to the actual needs. We'll skip this part here. Let's go to the attitude of politicians. Politicians' attitudes will serve well to make this issue clear. Throughout their lengthy campaigns, politicians, and as we said at the beginning, some politicians rhetorically repeat slogans expressing their deep commitment to serving the country. We'll say we'll solve poverty, we'll solve crime, we'll solve unemployment, we'll solve homelessness, we'll solve the problems in this country. We're going to have prosperity and abundance and peace. They give all sorts of promises because they want the people to vote for them. But once they are not appointed as minister, or once they are appointed, pushing aside all the association with the party and the purported goals set out in the agenda, they disclose their underlying motives for getting involved in politics and show that they ran for office and status. They wanted the family and the neighbors and everyone to show, hey, you know what, I am an honorable MP, or I am a premier, or I am a mayor, or I am a local ward councillor, right? They are doing it for name and fame, but there's lack of sincerity. They are not doing it for the benefit of the people. Briefly, deeds that don't have sincerity, deeds that are empty or void of sincerity, render the service to the people fruitless in the next life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God most merciful, the Supreme Creator, tells us in Surah Al-Baqarah, which is chapter 2 of the Quran, verse number 264. O you who have Iman, O you who believe, do not nullify your charity by demands for gratitude or insulting words, like him who spends his wealth showing off to people and not having belief or iman in God most merciful, in Allah and the last day. His likeness is that of a smooth rock coated with soil, which, when a heavy rain falls on it, is left stripped bare. They have no power over anything they have earned. Allah does not guide disbelieving people. Favors done with sincerity, on the other hand, if you are sincere in what you are doing, if you care about the people, you have concern about the people, you worry about the people, you have empathy and compassion. So favors done with sincerity to help people and earn the approval of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the other hand, prove to be profitable and beneficial as stated in many of Allah's verses, and thereby you earn the pleasure of the Creator Supreme, right? So remember, whatever you do in life, and especially people in leadership positions or upliftments, never remove God from the equation of your life. And in whatever you are doing as a leader, always do it with sincerity to make a positive difference in the lives of others, and not simply for self-enrichment, to enrich yourself and to enrich your family. Stay well, look after. Because remember, you're going to stand in front of God on the day of judgment, and that's a guarantee. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.